Liz Riley, Senior PR Manager at Next PR, talks to host Doug Simon on PR's Top Pros Talk.
Liz, can you start by sharing your top finding from NextPR's 2024 client survey?
Absolutely. And I thought it would be helpful to give some context to that survey before I dive into the top finding. But every year, NextPR sends out a survey to our clients to get a pulse on how they're feeling internally. Specifically, we want to know any pain points they're expecting to face in the new year, any dreams or visions they have for PR in the new year, and then any additional services that they're curious to try in 2025. And the top finding that actually made me smile when reviewing the results is, for the first time in the history of the survey, brand awareness ranked number one for a client's priority compared to years past, where it's always been increase more sales, close more business. It's always been a sales priority in years past. So, what that means is that clients actually understand that there's more to PR than just assisting with sales at the end of the day. And there's more importance around growing a company's brand awareness. So that was the first finding I found very interesting.
Very interesting because we also hear from some PR pros and clients that it's got to be directly tied to business results, and they're trying to measure a dollar spend on what was the return, which is important. So it's somewhat refreshing here. And obviously, brand awareness and more positive brand awareness is going to lead to increased sales. What were some other findings that stuck out to you?
Another thing that was interesting was the rise in interest of working with influencers. And what's neat about this one is all PR professionals right now are talking about how you need to try new media platforms. You can't just stick to traditional online and print publications anymore. So, this finding, the fact that our clients are more interested in working with influencers in 2025, told our team that clients are open to trying new things and reaching their target audiences on different platforms. So that one also got me excited, just knowing that people are open to trying new things and open to being on different types of media platforms, even if they haven't been on those before.
One of the things that we're also seeing, and obviously we're in the broadcast news space getting clients' messages out there, is a trend towards clients' organizations trying to help turn their own people into influencers, if you will. Is that a trend you're seeing?
Using NextPR as an example, our vice president has been very active on LinkedIn, and she posts a lot of great PR hot takes and just trending news in the space. And the amount of engagements she's seeing has been incredible and something I've never seen before. So, to answer your question, yes, I'm seeing internally at NextPR some of our professionals becoming influencers, and then also some of our clients. I have a client in the scholarship space, and he's always posting hot takes regarding higher education, and his engagements have been phenomenal. So I consider him like a mini influencer just from his LinkedIn post.
Yeah, and we've been seeing that trend even from our TV producers survey. Stations producers actually now prefer to speak with someone within an organization rather than a third party outside expert by 85% to 15%, which is a pretty huge differentiator. Um, Keeping to all of this, no matter what outlet you're using, who the spokesperson slash influencer is creating a compelling story. And sometimes working at agency, and I started in the agency world before I got into the production side of things, you don't really have a good story. So, what are some of the ways to try and create stories when there isn't hard news, and also overcome when a client is focused on pushing, say, a marketing piece that's just not going to be workable within the medium and outlets they're trying to get exposure through?
It's a great question. I have a few answers to it. The first is taking a step back and really understanding your spokespeople bench. I always encourage people to hop on quarterly brainstorms with the spokespeople so you can get to learn these people on a day-to-day basis, what their passion areas are, And I've seen the more brainstorms I do, the natural storylines of what they can speak to and what quotes they can offer to a media outlet naturally comes to me. So that's tip one, make sure you're speaking to your spokespeople. And then tip two, we have a strategy called trend jacking / rapid response. And that's when you're keeping a close eye on any trending news in a client's industry. And the key to having success with that is making sure you move quick and you're offering a quote or commentary that's different than what's already being published in the media. So those are two things I would start with when a company doesn't have news, but they're eager to get into consistent press. And another thing, it's been neat to hear you reference data. I reference data at the beginning of this call, but anytime a company can pull data regarding their industry, I've seen incredible PR success from national media to trade industry media. It gives an opportunity to tell a story behind what that data means for a certain industry. So that's something I also wanted to offer. If you are capable of pulling together data, that really hooks reporters' interest and gives you an opportunity to speak to what that data means for a certain industry.
Yeah, and we're even seeing it with this show where more of the guests are sharing data and coming prepared with information or research that leads to positive results. You talked earlier about a client with brand awareness, and we're savvy enough not to talk about a specific client that didn't have a story, so I give you credit there. But how do you tailor your strategy when clients do have different objectives? Some might be brand awareness, some are also sales, some are about putting people out there in the public to gain awareness of individuals and also help them with their ability to communicate. So, how do you tailor media strategy to align with the specific business objectives and client goals?
Yeah, it's a really good question. You definitely need to make sure you're asking your client questions so you're aligned on what their objective and goal is. And then based on years of experience, you start to learn which platforms drive more engagements. Right now, we're seeing LinkedIn drive heavy engagement and new business leads for our clients. When folks are focused on web traffic, you want to make sure you have opportunities where there's backlinks included and maybe an op-ed or an online article. So you really want to just make sure you're asking the questions and then having the right strategy and tactic that's going to deliver on the goal and objective at hand.
That's really good that you have to be fluid. Are there any final thoughts that you'd like to leave our audience with?
The only thing I'd like to add is PR is an ever-changing space. I've been in the field for 10 years and I feel like I'm learning something every day. So it's just important to remain transparent with your PR team on what your goal is and be open to trying new things to achieve that goal at the end of the day.
That's great. Well, this has been a great advice piece and contribution to our viewers with your thoughts and ideas. Thanks so much for being with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.